Once upon a time, in South St. Louis, there was a lovely piece of land purchased from the Missouri Pacific Railroad by 3 developers named Mr. Federer, Mr. Livingston, and Mr. Arendez. Sound familiar? Out of this hilly, slightly swampy land, they created a neighborhood called Holly Hills. As people moved in the area, the need arose for another Catholic church, so the parish boundaries of St. Stephen Protomartyr were drawn by Archbishop Glennon in 1926, and land was purchased near Wilmington and Livingston Streets. Unfortunately, the space was fairly locked in by that time, so expansion has always been a challenge for St. Stephen's. Father Joseph Helting was the first pastor of 50 families who worshiped and sent their children to school here in temporary frame buildings until the contiguous church, school, and convent buildings were completed in 1931. The rectory had been built in 1929. The parish grew and eventually outgrew its space. Contrary to what has become SSP legend, the fire in our church in 1958 was not the reason for a new church. The school, too, with 500 students at the height of the baby boom, needed more space, and so plans were made to build a new church and bell tower in the space between the rectory and the existing church, and to convert the old church space into additional classrooms. Popular attraction for returning alumni is to go to what is now the teacher's lounge in our school, which used to be the choir loft of the old church, and there you can still see the top half of the old church, including the light fixtures still hanging over the drop ceilings of our 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade classrooms. Work began and the cornerstone was laid for the new church building in 1962. The first Mass there was celebrated in August 1963. The Sisters of the Most Precious Blood lived in our convent attached to the school building from its founding in 1927 until the 1980s. At that time, the convent was renovated into additional classrooms. The Sisters' sitting room is now our preschool, and their chapel is now the area outside our music room and learning consultant's office. The second church building has had 2 substantial renovations, one in the 80s and one in 2005 as a result of a capital campaign that also funded the building of a long-awaited parish center, which was wedged into the remaining available space after the purchase and demolition of the neighboring residence. The parish center and regrading of the east parking lot area was completed in 2006. Phew!